There is so much content right now. We have our picks of streaming services, of YouTube, and of regular old pay-for-life TV. So what can you be watching as an actor in order to study up on current trends and spotlight actors, which are actors who are primarily being talked about a lot in the trades right now? That's right. You can watch shows, and not just any shows. Really good, popular shows that are entertaining, that also teach you how to act in those certain genres. And for those true go-getters, stick around to the very end for a few bonus shows. Let's get into it. Hi there, Honey Bunch. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Nikko Austen Smith, and I'm an actor here in Los Angeles. You may have seen me here, and if so, leave a comment. I'm curious. This channel is curated to those who want to break into the acting industry the smart way. I share tips and knowledge from all of my experiences that I've had thus far that other YouTubers don't talk about. So if all of that sounds good to you, let's continue on this journey together. Before I break down my top 10 shows I recommend to learn how to act, it's imperative we discuss genres. Genres are categories that TV, film, or literature are broken into. For TV, the main genres that we'll be discussing today, the ones that you'll mainly be auditioning for, are dramas, dark comedies, single cam comedy, multicam comedy, horror, and procedurals. The reason it's important to study different shows and different genres is because you'll most likely be going out for every single genre. You'll definitely have the upper hand if you know how characters behave in different genres and the certain pacing that might come with it. And no, you don't need to watch all episodes and all seasons of every single show, but I suggest maybe watching the first couple of episodes of each season, maybe one or two, just to kind of get a feel for how it is. Without further ado, here's my list of shows that I recommend you study to learn how to act. Category 1 is dramas. Dramas are, as you know, shows that are more dramatic in nature. They're more dramatic than comedic. The top drama shows I recommend to learn how to act are number 1, Big Little Lies, number 2 on the list, I May Destroy You, and number 3, Succession. And I should issue a trigger warning for I May Destroy You. It's a true story about an SA. It's just so brilliant how it's done. All of these shows are very well written. These characters are distinct. All of these shows have an all-star cast, and they're all streaming on HBO Max. Category 2, all about dark comedies. Dark comedies are generally funny, but with very sarcastic undertones. Most characters in dark comedies aren't considered to be good people. Generally, these characters end up in terrible situations with terrible solutions to get out of these terrible situations that they're in. The top dark comedies that I recommend to learn how to act are number 4, The Boys, streaming on Amazon Prime, and number 5, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, streaming on Hulu. Category 3, single cam comedy. The distinction between single cam and multicam is imperative to know. They are vastly different comedy styles. Single cam comedies, for example, are not taped in front of a live studio audience. So single cam comedies generally don't have a laugh track. They're usually on the more realistic acting side of comedy. Single cam comedies are really distinct characters in high stakes situations. Think of shows like The Office. My top single cam comedies that I recommend to learn how to act are number 6, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and number 7, Schitt's Creek. Brooklyn Nine-Nine is on Hulu and Schitt's Creek is on Netflix. I would study up on how these characters react in the situations that they're in. Category 4, multicam comedies. Multicam comedies are shot with multiple cameras and generally on a live sound stage in front of a live studio audience, which is why there's always a laugh track. Multicam comedies are home to sitcoms like That 70s Show or The Big Bang Theory. So here are the top multicam comedies I recommend to learn how to act in this specific genre. Number 8 on the list, How I Met Your Father / How I Met Your Mother. How I Met Your Father / How I Met Your Mother is streaming on Hulu. How I Met Your Mother was the original show, and then How I Met Your Father is the reboot of that show. Both are great options to get the feel of multicam comedy, and they're both streaming on Hulu. Pay attention to the quick speed and how the reactions that these actors give tend to be a bit bigger as well. But it works in these high stakes situations that they find themselves in. Multicam comedies are generally high energy actors in high stakes situations. Category 5, horror. Horror shows are perfect to watch and to study to learn how to act because you can see how these actors behave when they're supposed to be scared, how they use their breath to their advantage, how they sometimes have to have a wide vocal range for screaming, yelling, etc. You get it. When you start to look at shows this way, it's really fascinating. The top shows I recommend to learn how to act in this specific genre are number 9 on the list, Lovecraft Country, and of course, number 10, Stranger Things. Lovecraft, I believe, is on HBO Max, and Stranger Things is streaming on Netflix. Category 6, procedurals. Procedurals are shows that have a certain formula to them, whether it's like a cop show or a doctor show. Shows like Law & Order SVU, 911, Grey's Anatomy. You could literally watch any of them to get a feel for what a procedural is like and to learn how to act in that specific genre. When you're auditioning for a procedural, timing and pacing are very important. These types of shows move quickly and usually there's a good amount of dialogue to get through. Those are my top 10 shows in all major categories that I would recommend for you to learn how to act in those specific genres. Since you made it to the very end, it is time for some bonus categories. Bonus category number 1, popular shows right now that actors should be familiar with. We've got Euphoria, The White Lotus, Abbott Elementary, Severance, Ted Lasso, Bridgerton, Squid Games, and Only Murders in the Building. Now remember, you don't need to watch all episodes and all seasons of all of these shows, just the first 1 to 2 to kind of get the feeling of what they're going for. Bonus category number 2, teen shows. So if you're a teen or college age, and if not, maybe you're someone that can believably play those ages. Here are some popular shows that you should be familiar with that you'll probably want to go in for. We've got Gossip Girl, Pretty Little Liars Original Sin, Euphoria, and Outer Banks. Thank you so much for sticking around to the very end. Now you know all of the shows that I recommend for you to learn how to act. But do you know my top 10 movies that I recommend? Thank you all so much again for watching. I'll see you all Thursday after next. Bye.